Supposed to. Oh, well, we got caught in a conversation. Welcome, everyone, to Everyday Ethics. I, of course, am Michael Liebowitz here with the always beautiful Persephone with the cat ear headphones. They are absolutely wonderful. Persephone, how goes your day so far?
Very, very day long,
Do we have any
long.
goals? Did you set the goals? Are you able to set the goals? I've made you manager.
No, I'm still fighting with YouTube because I feel like Mercury is in retrograde. I'm not sure if it is. I'll figure it out. Don't
All
worry. I
right.
figured everything else out.
All right. Perfect. So today's topics, what we have going on is I actually went into chat and asked for what are some common ethical challenges that people face, and I got an answer. But we do get the super chats, super stickers. They're
Oh,
always welcome.
so the one thing that we did say yesterday is that if we got over 10, that we would stream for an extra half an hour. For an extra half an hour.
Did we get over 10?
I actually can't remember. I think we did.
I don't think so.
Anyway, keep talking.
All right. I'm going to figure this out. This is what we're going to do. Tomorrow, we're going to go for an extra half hour, no matter what, because we don't know. But today, it's too much. But tomorrow, we will do it because when I don't plan for it, I don't plan for it. You understand? Capiche? All right. So the ethical challenges, the first one they present is, to me, silliness. It's honesty versus convenience. White lies to avoid hurting feelings, misrepresenting facts on forms, resumes, or applications, calling in sick when you are not, or exaggerating a reason. And then it says ethical tension, truthfulness versus social harmony. I don't have this problem here. I'm not telling you white lies to spare your feelings. I'm not misrepresenting facts on forms, resumes, or applications. And I'm not calling in sick. I often find that these dilemmas are not actually dilemmas. They're emotional tension between what a person wants and what a person should do.
And social norms, because it is a social norm that you tell white lies in certain
Yeah,
situations.
that would be the emotional pull I'm talking about, Persephone. That's what causes the emotional pull sometimes. No, you don't just stop, you argue.
I mean, sure, I guess, but also if it wasn't clear to me, maybe it wasn't clear to some other people.
Okay, all right, all right. Well, that's a good point. You got to give me pushback. No Name wants to know what's our opinion on age gaps in relationships. I'm gonna need to know some more information.
There's an the, there's I actually I have thought about this. There is an age gap in my relationship. I believe age gaps are fine as long as you're both in the same stage of life. So if you are 25 dating a 17-year-old, that's a bit weird. If you're a 45-year-old dating a 35-year-old, you're both in the same stage of life. So I think as long as you're in the same sort of stage, then age gaps are fine. That's my personal feeling.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Um, Assuming both are adults
Mm.
and assuming that both are at this, within the same maturity level, then I don't. It doesn't make any difference to me. If you got a 20-year-old dating a 70-year-old, my bet is there's not at the same maturity level. They're not sharing common values. There's probably not sexual attraction, at least going the other way. From the 20-year-old to the 70-year-old. Um, but assuming that they're of similar maturity, both adults share the same values, I see no problem with it at all.
That's how I feel.
Do you know what lady approached my friend and I last night? She thought it was Danny. She was a really nice lady, and she thought we were so funny. And it wasn't like she was trying to date us or anything. At least, that wasn't the implication. She just told us that she found us very funny, would like to hang out with us.
Was she eavesdropping on your conversation, or
We
were you being very loud?
You were very boisterous. We carry on quite a bit, and we are a hoot. So it does not surprise me that somebody would say, "Wow, these guys are fun." But it was a fun thing. It was fun.
That's really nice, actually. It's
was
nice when
cool.
people come up to you and go, "You're really funny. We should be friends."
Yeah.
I don't get that. I'm not funny to other people.
Well, you got to understand something here. Okay, I just shared that. We're funny people, and not funny, haha. Not funny in a we're not funny. You know what I mean? We're funny. We're funny people. So, anyways, back to I lost everything here. Now this is gone. Oh, here it is. Okay,
We're talking about white lies.
yes. Yeah, I don't have an issue there at all. If somebody is and they want to give me one they think is a dilemma, that's fine. So the next one is fairness versus self-interest. And I like this one because I think it implies that being fair is sometimes against my self-interest. That would only be, I think, if you're talking about like a short range hedonism, it might be the case where, oh, I want what I want when I want it. And, that's it. But when you're talking about a mature, ethical adult, I don't think that it's in my interest to treat others unfairly.
Yeah, I can't think of a time that. Can I? No, I can't think of a time that it would be against your self-interest.
No Name told my friend Danny that he's very handsome, but she's never seen him.
Maybe she's looking at his profile picture and
Of Ralph Lauren?
No Name, correct me if I am wrong, but I have a feeling that you are fairly young. So it's entirely possible that they don't know who's in the profile picture.
It's a Ralph Lauren in a baseball cap. It's not like it's this very attractive looking. Maybe it is. Maybe that's why she asked about our opinions, age gaps and relationships, because she is looking at Ralph Lauren and thinking it's Danny and like, hey, maybe I can get into a relationship with this octogenarian.
No, I think
No Name might be like girls, because she says she wished she had a girlfriend like you. Maybe that's the age gap that she's speaking of.
Unfortunately, I'm married. No, fortunately, I'm married. That came out wrong. I have a wonderful husband. He's amazing. I love him so much.
You're have you heard of overcompensating? You're overcompensating now.
Yeah, but you know why? Because you always hear when people say like, unfortunately, I'm in a relationship, and it's like, unfortunately for you, I'm in a relationship, not unfortunately for me.
Well, it came out that way. Would your husband be pissed off if you're like, hey, No Name wants to come home with us? Would your husband be like, no way?
No.
He'd be okay with it?
Not he would jokingly be okay with it. Like, actually having another person come home with us, yes, he would have a problem with that.
See, I would too. I don't care if somebody goes home with you and your husband. I mean, if somebody were bringing someone home with my girlfriend and me, theoretically, guys talk about that a lot. Like, oh, it'd be so great. But if you got to watch Seinfeld. See, Seinfeld is great for this, because Jerry, he had this situation where he wanted to break up with a girl and go out with her roommate, but he didn't know how to pull off the switch. So George said, I'll tell you what you do. You go to her and you say you want to have a threesome with her and the roommate. She's going to be offended, break up with you. She'll then tell the roommate. The roommate will be flattered, and then you'll be able to connect with the roommate. So Jerry goes and he tries this and he says, hey, why don't we do this menage a trois? And she says, oh my God, we're into that. So she's all for it. And Jerry's like, no way, I'm doing this. So George goes crazy. What are you not? You're crazy not doing it. And then Jerry finally says to him, would you? And George said, no. Jerry says, I'm not an orgy guy. He said, I'd have to buy lotions and robes and have to get orgy friends.
You?
Not me.
No, I know, but just just lotions and robes. Ew.
You're opposed to lotions and robes. Okay.
I am opposed to lotion, but also the like threesomes never work out the way that you think that they're going to, and there's a lot of men.
I'm not married. No name. So anyways, there's a lot of men that are gross. What were you gonna say?
No, there's so there is a subreddit that I love to browse, which is basically men fucking around and finding out and suggesting to their wives that they start an open relationship because they think they want to go and fuck other people and they want to do it in a way, they want to do ethical non-monogamy, and they do this and then they realize that their wives are infinitely hotter than they are and their wives can pull but they can't. And then
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even mean that they're necessarily hotter. The fact is it's much easier for women to have sex than it is men. That's
yes.
just a fact of life.
So
right?
it is just one of those things that I find hilarious is just watching these men bomb otherwise good relationships. Well, you
Yeah,
don't know if they're good.
I could not do that. Also on the threesome thing, to me, like sex, and this is like a psychological fact, is very psychological and very emotional. And I like focus. And if you bring two people around, I'm the diffusion of focus, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
No, like threesomes almost always turn into two people fucking and one person watching. She says as though she has experience.
I was
She
just
doesn't.
thinking, I was thinking about that because I've never heard that before. But either way, the next one is responsibility versus diffusion of blame. Now, this was interesting to me. There's a few of the examples: seeing someone being treated unfairly but staying silent, witnessing a minor wrongdoing at work and not reporting it, assuming someone else will handle it. The ethical tension, they say, is between moral responsibility versus comfort and safety. Now, this to me is I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. So I got a job when I first got out of prison, a few months out at Dunkin' Donuts, working from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. That was my job, was to prepare the bagels and everything. There was this guy who was the cousin of the manager who had worked at Dunkin' Donuts for like 20 years. So he can't get it through his head that when you work there for 20 years, everything's easy. When you're training new people, not so much. Now, there was a young girl there, maybe 18 or 19, who was autistic and trans as well. And he would verbally abuse her. Now, my girlfriend, Melissa, at the time, her son, Vinny, who I thought of as my son, was autistic. And he would abuse this girl verbally. And he would say things to her, like, why don't you just go kill yourself? You're not good at anything, that sort of thing. Now, put in context, right? This dude had a real slick way with his mouth, liked to pretend to be a tough guy. I knew if I were to say something to him, he's going to come back with some tough guy thing. I also know that I have a history of not giving a fuck about your tough guy routine. Right. I mean, serious, like I'm fresh out of prison, like 8 months out at this time, 9 months out of prison. I know that if I report him, nothing's going to change. Right. His cousin, that is the manager, is not going to fire him. She was already aware of the way he treated this girl. I know because I talked to the girl and she told me she's already complained to no avail. So I was put in this situation of feeling like such a coward. Like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to lose my job. Nothing's going to change. The only variable that's going to change is I'm going to lose my job. And it's like, what do I do? Every fiber of my being wanted to break his jaw. I mean, I'm just going to be as straight with you as I can. I wanted to hurt this dude.
Mm.
But I didn't say anything and I let it go. Subsequently, then he started screwing with me. And I'm letting it go, and I'm letting it go, and I'm letting it go. And then one day I just walked out. I said, I'm done here. And it was at the point where either I was going to walk out or knock him out. And I'm not saying that like I'm a small guy, right? I'm not some tough guy. But I still was, how do I put this? There's still in here somewhere the capacity to really go medieval, right? I don't embrace it. I don't engage it. I push it out, and I'm never going to act on it. But I knew I had to walk away from that guy, right? And so I left. But I felt, badly. Like, what do you do in that situation where words are not going to change it? Nothing I'm going to say in that position, it's only going to hurt me. So in that instance, I did feel that there was a dilemma. Interestingly, and this is why it's good to not act that way towards people, because several months later, maybe even a year, I moved from where I live now. I moved in with Melissa in a few towns over. And I walked to the store one day, and in walks this guy with his kid. Right now, you don't understand, dude. You're in a really bad spot, potentially. I, of course, just left. I didn't say anything. But this guy has no clue, because he didn't even see me, as far as I know, that him being that way then, I could have been, it could have been a very different situation. And that, you have to be I'm going to go on a little detour, right? Because you always should be careful how you treat people. My friend Danny, never mind. It's his business. I'm not going to put it out there, although it's a great, great story. Had I said it was somebody, I could have just said it was somebody else, but then I said Danny. Yeah, I screwed the pooch on that one. She says you can't just ignore people who abuse people with disabilities. You can't. Yeah, I agree. Fuck bullies. I also understand that I don't want to go back to prison. And that me saying to this guy, stop it, was not going to get him to stop it. Me reporting him to his boss was not going to stop it. Me hurting him badly was going to put me in prison.
I would like to know from Jeanette and from Danny what they would have done in this situation if they were in your shoes. I would like to hear.
I
from
would
them
too. I would too.
What they would have done.
Yeah, let me just put it as clearly as I can. It's very easy to say what you do when you're not the one who just got out of prison after serving 25 years, and you've got a lot of people that vouched for you, that if you fuck up are going to hurt them, that had a girlfriend that I planned on probably marrying, a young child that I treated like my own son. So I would like to know what would you do,
but
in those situations?
Also, it's really important to remember that if you have just come out of jail, it is very difficult for you to get any job.
Right.
People don't want to hire people that have been in jail. So not only are you, potentially going to lose that job, but it's not like another person that can just walk and easily go and get another job.
Right. So Danny rightly says he's a big guy. He can handle himself. Great. Are you willing to go to prison after being there for 25 years? Because talking shit wasn't going to stop this dude. Reporting him to his boss wasn't going to stop this dude. The only thing that was going to stop this dude was crippling him. Crippling him would have put me back in prison, probably for the rest of my life. So that's what I want to know. So Danny wants to know what the story is. Okay, I'll tell it. Danny did a little bit of prison time, not much. He probably thinks it was a lot, but it's really not, when he was younger. So I mean, for anybody, you spend a week in prison, it's a lot to you. I'm just saying that he did maybe a year, 2 years, whatever it was, is not a long time. But there was a correctional officer that really mistreated him while he was in prison. He subsequently ran into said correctional officer at a gas station when he was free. And he approached the correctional officer and said, "Hey, remember all that time you treated me like shit? Maybe we can handle that now." And the correctional officer says, "Oh, I'm with my family, right? I'm with my family now. I really can't." And Danny, now here's the thing. Danny, wasn't going to do anything to him. But you know what, dude? You should have fucking thought about your family when you're mistreating people that you have power over. Right? Yeah. Because you didn't care about that person at that time, but now you want somebody to respect the fact that you're with their family. And you're very, very, very lucky that it was that person and not somebody that was going to say, "You know what? I don't care about your family." You just don't mistreat people.
Have you watched Mobland?
I have not.
You should, because there is a very similar situation that comes up in Mobland, and the way that it gets handled there is interesting.
This is interesting to me because Jeanette says, "I don't take it when it comes to my kids." Okay, Jeanette, are you willing to go to prison so that you're not going to be anywhere near your kids anymore? That's what I want to know.
And also, if it is your kids and you lose your employment, you lose your money, you can't pay your rent, what happens to your kids then?
Right. I really would like to know. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, because I was in this situation, fresh out of prison, 25 years. Just to let's make it as real as we can. Mother dead, father dead, grandmother dead, aunt dead, friend dead, other friend dead. All these people dying while I'm in prison. Can't be there for them. Couldn't be there for my father. Couldn't be there for my mother. People, former state senators spoke up for me to get out of prison. Reporter, talk show host, former police officer, friends, family, writing letters, all these people doing all this for me. And now I'm going to throw it away to not change anything. So Jeanette, you would do it? You would go to prison for the rest of your life because of what somebody was saying, because of words? If you would, I think that's ridiculous, but I mean, you are free, to have your viewpoint, obviously. But it's absurd that you're going to go to prison and that's going to be it, and then nothing's going to protect them. Nobody's going to be there to stick up for them. Danny, I'm curious about you also. After 25 years, you're going to go to prison and separate yourself from your daughter, from your wife?
I can.
He says yes. All right. I find it hard to believe, and I'm going to tell you why. I just want to say something, Jeanette. I find it hard to believe. The reason I find it hard to believe is because you're not in prison. And normally, the people who do that are. I find it very hard to believe that nobody's ever said or done anything to your kids where you would want to harm them, but you didn't. I believe you didn't. But I can't believe you never faced that situation. Maybe I'm wrong. I find it hard to.
Of course, Jeanette, I don't know you at all, but I also find it very difficult to believe. I can understand why you would want to say that, because it sounds like the right thing to say, that you would absolutely never let that happen. But if that is the hill that you're willing to die on, is that the only one? Or have you never seen any injustice and let it slide?
Yeah. And let me make this as real as possible for everybody in the audience. I have been the type of person, fuck around and find out. Like, I'm not playing and I'm not on fucking X and Twitter talking shit. I'm gonna be even as more blunt. I've put holes in people. You fuck with me, I will lay you the fuck down, is how I thought. Right? You are not going to talk to me any way you want. You're not going to treat me any way you want. I will hurt you. Not now. I want to make this very, very clear. This is not who I am now, but I was. So I know what it's like to be that person, right? That you're not giving a dirty look to, or not taking any shorts, nothing, right? I have been that person. You, Jeanette, have you done prison time? I'm just curious. I doubt it. I do. I'm sorry, Jeanette. I'm not buying it. I'm just not.
If it is true, I'm curious if that is the only hill, if you are willing to go to jail for.
Well, she says she's been that person that would do the things that I've done. I've just never known anybody like that didn't go to prison. Not a one. Not even close.
I've never been to prison, and
no, you don't want to go.
No, you're right. I don't want to go. My father was in prison, and when he got out of prison, everyone was convinced that he was dying. So no, I don't want to go to prison. But I was also that type of person. That would, get into fights and hit people over the head with bottles and break people's noses in bars.
Well, you must have turned it around.
I did turn it around, but yeah, so I'm also that person, and I have friends who are autistic. I have family that is autistic. I have a nephew who is being bullied by little shits at his school, who, I'm going to be honest, I want to hurt. But I don't, because it's
not worth it.
It's not worth it. And the thing is, it's not just not worth it for you. Even if you want to think about this from an altruist perspective, you have to consider that it might actually make the situation worse for the person that you are trying to defend. Even if you are thinking not about yourself, if you're thinking about that person, what happens if in Michael's situation, you go and you break this dude's jaw, right? Because you're trying to defend this goal. You go to prison. He's pissed off that his jaw was broken because of this, in his mind, this bitch. And he makes her life even more difficult. What have you done in the grand scheme of things other than make things worse?
You haven't. And that's kind of that's an excellent way to put it, Persephone. Excellent way to put it.
Danny says he was bullied by a guy named Mike when he was
I did not bully Danny when he was young. Not that I never bullied anybody. I have bullied people, but I didn't bully him. He was my friend. We were both bullied by a guy named Phil, though, who, by the way, blew us off yesterday. I'm gonna put it out there. He did. We were supposed to meet for pizza, the three of us, yesterday, and so the guy waits, and we're supposed to meet at 5:15. At 10 after 5, we get the call that he can't make it because he's working. So Danny said, Phil, he says, you wanted to make it like, we wanted to do this to get together like when we were kids, and you made it feel just like we used to feel when our dads didn't show up when we had plans.
Oh, that's terrible. I really want to address something that No Name said.
You can address it.
So talking about being married and losing freedom, and I asked, are you saying that marriage is losing your freedom? And they said yes. And I just want you to
I don't know though if they're talking to you. I don't know. It gets hard to tell what they're responding to.
It does get hard to tell, but she said yes, Persephone. No. Okay. So No Name, are you a woman?
Yes.
You're a woman now. Okay. So if that is the way that
a woman now.
Well, No, you're a woman. Even if you're not a woman, I'm going to call you a woman now because I'm just assuming that you are. If you think that marriage is losing your freedom, you are hanging around with the wrong people. My husband is my best friend in the entire world, and he is my like ride or die. There's nothing that I can't take to my husband. So if you think it's losing your freedom, you need to hang around better people.
I don't know that that's what she was saying, though. See, that's where I'm.
She's losing your freedom. Are you talking about marriage? Yes, that was the conversation.
All right. I'll take your word for it. Maybe listen to Cosmo Kramer on this one, though. He says marriage are man-made prisons. He says everywhere you go, she's there. It's like you got to ask permission to use the bathroom. Can I go to the bathroom now? And then he says, and you can forget about watching TV at dinner. You know why? Because it's dinner time. And you know what you do at dinner? You talk about your day. All right, time to wrap up. Tomorrow, we're going to do an extra half hour. We're going to go through this list. We're going to keep doing that tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for your feedback, even when you disagree. It's great. You're welcome to disagree as often as you want, as long as it's respectful. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Until then, be ethical.